your sheet for a moment, the back page. And I want you to follow along with me. Pick one of those permission slips. And on one of those permission slips, I want you to write on the top, follow on the screen, you see it up there, put I on line 1, put your name. Okay? And then the second line, I want you to, it says give permission to, and you're going to put down the word or the phrase. My case, it would have been shmoo, but the word, for me, it would have been shmoo. For you, maybe it's, you know, I'll never, the phrase, I'll never be good at anything, or like the Gertrude Kopus mom that says, I'll never get a better job. Whatever you've given permission to in your life, write that down. And then the next one is, on line 3, after you get to that, as you've given that, your name, given the permission to that word, you've given it the permission to ruin your day or ruin your chances. Is my huge head in the way? It is huge, by the way. I know that because I'm talking to people in the sunshine. They said, move your head. And I'm happy to oblige. I really am contributing to global warming. Okay. And then I want you to do is sign off on that. Sign your name. Sign it and date it. I want you to look at that for a moment. I want you to read it to yourself just for a moment. When we do this with kids, we have these small slips. They're available on our website. They'll be available tomorrow, or you can photocopy and cut all the ones you want. But because of tonight, we didn't have a bunch of floating papers. We're just going to do this. See, what I do with kids is I say, okay, that one, now I want you to read it once to yourself. And you read it quietly, and in 5 seconds, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And notice how you feel. Does it make you feel great, or does it make you feel less? And for most of the kids, they tell us it makes them feel less. Would we agree? And what I do is I teach them to turn it and take this when we have it in a piece of paper and fold it. Remember that story about getting married and the mortgages? You've got to write them down. You've got to write them down. All right? And then what I do is I teach the kids to put them aside for a moment. Now I want you to take another permission slip. In this case, it'll be for you tonight. I'd just like you to cross out the one we just did, because that has no more place in your life. And then what I want you to do is then take the next permission slip, and I would tell the kids again to take a permission slip. And in our case, actually, it would be our yellow ones, which I don't have up here right now, but the yellow permission slip. And I'd say, take this one out. And then I'd say to do this. Fill out the permission slip, and if they're being bullied, this is what I do with your kids. You see, what happens is this. When words come into you, words are all, they're just words. If I was from a foreign country and I said, how many people would be offended? Well, if you don't know what it means, you're like, cool. But it's because you decided what it meant to you that it mattered. And where do we allow? We allow our words to come in our head, and we allow the words to go into our heart. So here, since that's what we get to do this. Your name. Give permission to yourself again. And then to carefully, which means to be full of care, to carefully inspect every word before you allow it in. To take it out if it's already in there and hold it up and say, does this word define me? Does this word describe me? To carefully inspect every word before I allow it in. And then I want you to sign that one. Okay? And when you're done, now let's look for eyes forward if you've got that done. Now here it is. I'm going to tell you adults and kids are the same. It's that marriage certificate and that mortgage certificate all over again. The problem is our head. Most people are bullied by themselves much more than they've ever been bullied by anybody else. And what happens is, what we found out is, when words die, fists fly. So we just got to learn how to use words. They're what get us into trouble, and they're what get us into wonderful things as well. They're powerful if we allow it. Okay. So now let's sign data. Now I want you to read that one and read how that feels. Read it. Just read it to yourself. Did you have trouble signing that one? That was easy, because now you're in charge, right? Okay. In our last few minutes here, I'm going to explain to you how the brain works. And it's modeled after the Spice Girls. The brain says, Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Ziggy zig, ah. Yeah, imagine this. Imagine your brain. This is how you order information from your brain. You go into, let's say, McDonald's. You can tell I've probably been to one. And I don't mind that because, quite frankly, by the way, what is it with Canadians and Tim Hortons? They do have a walk-in. All right, I digress. Imagine me going into a McDonald's restaurant or something like that, and you're all behind me. We have 15 minutes for lunch, and I'm in front. Only one cashier open. Okay, got the scenario? We have 15 minutes, and you're all behind me. Girl says, or the server says to me, what do you want? I go, I don't want the Big Mac. I don't want the fries. Don't want the quarter pound of cheese. I don't want the fillet of fish. Sure don't want that thing you used to have called the McRib. I don't want the salad. I don't. No, you're behind me. What are you thinking? Come on, dude. What's your problem? What are the girl in front of me thinking? The cashier. She's going to say, sir, tell me what you. Yeah. You see, we do this. Close your eyes for a moment. Do not think of a pink elephant with a purple toque. How about this one? Google this, kids. Google not Ajax. And hit enter. What do you get? You get Ajax. We spend so much time telling our brain what we don't want, we don't tell it what it wants. The Spice Girls had it right. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So if I went for lunch, I go, I want the Big Mac, I want the fries, and I want the special Coke. Thanks. She knows exactly what to do. If you're a coach out there, let me challenge you on this. Coaches don't like me. I'm not really a great parent on the sideline because I watch coaches do this wrong almost all the time. And I'm a big guy in language. And coaches do this. Kids are playing soccer, playing their heart out in about 100-degree heat. They're going, don't go there, don't do that, don't do this, don't go there. So it's a pretty big field, eh? So the kids are like, how about here? No, don't go there. It's like a game, right? Okay, there's only like, I don't know how many square feet. How about here? No, oh, geez, I got that one wrong too. The coach says, what? What's wrong with you guys? You don't do what I say. Well, what did he tell them? Nothing. How many times you said, so then I said, Coach, tell them where to go. My daughter was playing this 4-on-4 tournament one time. They never played this game before, 4-on-4. I watched the coach from the sidelines. Nice guy, did the best he could. The girls didn't know what they were doing, and they felt really bad. But my daughters, see, what I understood was the girls that were playing this 4-on-4 tournament, they all could kick the ball, they could pass the ball, and they had competency. And I said, girls, instead of worrying about winning the game, let's just win every station. Let's win every step. I said, when you go to open space, that's a win. When you call for the ball, that's a win. And when you get a crisp pass, that's a win. Whether we get a goal or not, doesn't matter. You cool with that? 11-year-old kids, really smart, go, we're cool. So I'm the only wacky parent on the sideline. As these kids are now moving to open space, I go, that's a win. And then they call for the ball, and I go, that's a win. And then they crisp pass, that's a win. And you know what happened at the end of that game? We lost. But you know what the kids knew? Kids had the best game of their life because they knew exactly what they were doing. The score did not matter because they were on task. Fair? You tell your kids, don't forget your homework. What's the Google in their brain saying? Forget the homework. I'm not going to let that word idiot ever bother me again. See, positive thinking doesn't work, kids. Positive thinking is like painting a nice new paint job over a rusted old Chevy or whatever it is. Eventually, it comes through. You can't just positive think this. You got to tell your brain what you want. You've got to take out of your brain and put it on paper and say to this paper, and you notice how I folded it and didn't tear it? Did you notice that? And that's a pretty bad statement here, and we're going to finish up in about a minute and a half here. Maybe 2. The reason I didn't tear this up is because for a moment in time, this was the most powerful word or phrase that you'd ever given yourself. And we teach the kids this. I wanted to be respectful for something that was so good, that was so powerful, that it stopped me in my tracks and prevented me from being myself. It made me feel bad. I allowed this word, and that's all it is after I looked in the dictionary, to stop me. And I say to the kids, when you're done with this word, give it a decent burial, but don't put it in the recycle bin. Nobody else wants it. Yes, you can shred it. and just walk up to a garbage can. And wherever you see a garbage can tonight, or you ever see a garbage can throughout the day, think to yourself, what word must I take out? Take a piece of paper. You think you can do it in your head? You can't. Ask my wife. From time to time when I'm stumped, underneath my pillow, she'll find a bunch of permission slips. And that's hard when you're changing the bed linens. Take a look at these ones. You're going to see one's about the bully. And by the way, the bully, this is the last comment, and then we're going to go. The bully gets up every morning, and whether you know it or not, this is how the bully behaves. The bully takes their own permission slip, although they don't know they do it, and they sign, I, John Bully, give permission to John Bully to make Garth's life a living nightmare. And he signs it. He's excited. And all he has to do now is find who? Yeah, and usually he has to have a friend. And he's going to walk up to me and go, I'm going to give you a hard time, and I'm going to give you a word, retard. And I'm going to say, I, Garth Riley, give permission to Garth Riley to inspect every word before I allow it in. And it doesn't work. And you got to believe when I'm in media and when I do today, there are a lot of people that don't like me. And I appreciate them watching the show even still. But I got to tell you, the point of the matter is that their opinion of me has no effect on me because I can't control your opinion of me. I can only control one thing. And if you all take one finger in your hand and point it up like this, who's in control of the permission slip of your life? Somebody else? Or point everybody. Put it right over your heart. You. And we're going to go anywhere and everywhere we can to do this. And I want to thank all of you for coming out on a night when it's very tough to get parents out. And I trust that you found something here that will help you to figure out how you can help your child not be the victim of bullying. But the first person you have to help is yourself. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and good night.